What's going on, everybody? It's Top Bets checking back in. We got our Week 5 first look video coming at you for the main slate on Draftkings. But before we get going, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if you did cash on any of the top plays and stacks that we gave out last week. We did have our sleeper stack game, which was the football team and the Falcons score 64 total points. Used that. However, I did not have it wrapped properly, or the guys around it didn't do as well as I thought they would. So it ended up did not cash. But let me know if you guys did. So that's mainly why I do these videos, so you guys cash. So give me a comment below if you did. Before we also get going, check out Occupy Fantasy. Those guys are absolutely killing it. They're one of the best lineup optimizers I've ever used. I use them on a daily basis. They've been killing NBA preseason, NFL, and the League of Legends as well. Also, code DOTBETS. You can get a 125% sign-up bonus with America's favorite sportsbook. That is at BetUS. So just check them out and use code DOTBETS. So let's go. All right, so let's go position by position and see what we are liking. Just the initial glance at this initial slate, it is pretty ugly. You got the Seahawks and Rams on Thursday night. Then you have the Bills and Chiefs Sunday night. You do have a London game, so the Jets and Falcons are out of the slate as well. But just not that very many high-scoring Vegas totals so far. We do have a couple in the 50s, so probably the games that we'll probably end up targeting, probably the Giants, Cowboys, maybe the 49ers, Cardinals, and then the other one probably could end up being Green Bay and the Bengals. But those will just be probably what the Friday video will end up being about, is those top plays and stacks. That's probably just giving you a preview of what I'm probably going to target. We'll see what all the data compiles and which ones we should definitely go towards. But just going position by position, Kyler Murray has been absolutely dominant this year. 34, 38, 22, and 22. So he hasn't ran as much this year. However, last week was the first week he did not score a rushing touchdown. It's also completing close to about 80% of his passing. He's been on an elite level this year. That's definitely why he's justified at $8,000 this week. Another one, so Hurts, maybe the Philly-Carolina game could be a potential game stack. Looking at that, I think that could be a sneaky one there. You got Hurts, and then you have Sam Darnold, who have been playing pretty well. 28, 21, 25, and 31. And he has been running a lot. So he's gotten 7, 10, 9, and 8 attempts. Maybe that's why Miles Sanders has been lack thereof this year, because of Jalen Hurts, for sure. But then you also have the Browns, Chargers. Herbert just balled out on Monday Night Football, 30 points, 21 points. You could see him being used a little bit. Probably my favorite play, obviously, with the injury to Jimmy G, is going to be Trey Lance. He's going to be very highly owned at 5,700. So be wary of that. If you are going to play Trey Lance, make sure you do game stack. But he had 7 attempts for 41 yards, and that is just on one half. He's going to be an absolute beast. If you guys have listened to any of my streams, you guys knew I was very, very high on Trey Lance as a waiver at the end of the drafts to end up getting him, and he's going to be paying off here shortly for you guys. Down here, I want to see if there's any other value. I'm not going to trust Fields. I think Dalton's back, actually. Not going to do Winston. Yeah, maybe a Heineke, but probably my Trey Lance is the best value play. If I'm going to pay up for a quarterback, it's going to be more than likely Kyler. But you could differentiate yourself with getting one of these guys in the middle. That's what the Friday stream will end up being, is who I go for. So running backs, with the cover boy here, Derrick Henry has been unreal this season. If it'll go ahead and load. But we got a 10-point game, which was the outlier. But then you have 50, 22, and 28. Last week, everybody was on him. You had to be, because you don't have they didn't have Brown or Julio. So definitely was an opportunity for him to shine. 33 attempts, 157 yards, and a rushing touchdown. VIP was on his over 18 and a half reception yards, and he had 20. So we ended up cashing for a couple units. So that was nice to see. But no, Derrick Henry is definitely the top play here. Kamara has been just not Kamara, I would say. He's not having those blow up games. I predicted him to have a big blow up game last week. He had 26 attempts. He's never had that before in his career, but he did have 0 targets, which was just mind blowing to me. I don't know how you don't use your best player in the way that they are, is designed to be used, and you've seen it for years to come. But anybody who plays the Detroit Lions, you got to target them. Make sure you just keep an eye on Dalvin Cook's ankle. If it's not Cook, you got to throw in Madison, and he's at 5,500. So he actually went down from the time that he was the guy at 6,000. So he's at 5,500. So I think Dalvin will end up playing. So you're probably going to end up going to him with no Joe Mixon and no Montgomery. Actually, question mark on Mixon. He's day to day, but I doubt he plays. A lot of people are going to go to Damian Williams, who got priced up to 5,600. And then you also have Pirine, who is probably down. Let's see where he's at. I'll search him. Pirine. He's at 4,000. So he's going to be popular, very popular as well. But and then you got Barkley and Eckler. These guys at 7,300, 7,600 have been coming along. I think all 3 of these running backs, and throw Zeke in there, they're getting, or I would say Barkley and Elliott, were getting written off pretty early, and ended up now getting, probably a little bit more happy from their fantasy owners. So they had 5, 17, 26, and 23. So definitely are going to be playing a little bit more Elliott, a little bit more Barkley. Najee Harris came back to life after his 19 target game, but he still is very, very involved in this offense. Probably he's right underneath Derrick Henry in terms of volume. So you got to look and make sure that you have some type of usage to him. His salary is slowly ticking up. It went from 6,300, 6,600, 6,800, now 6,900. So went from 19 targets, which was never going to keep pace, but he did have 7. You could probably ride him in for 5 to 7 targets every single week, which is very, very great volume. And at 6,900, you got to have some exposure to. Let's see if we do like any value plays. Chase Edmonds is one of the premier guys that you want to target down in these in the mid tier. 14, 12, 14, and 20. Very consistent output. James Conner did get a couple touchdowns from him last week. I would still trust Edmonds over him. Swift is a guy that I was very, very high on last week. It kind of burned me with only 8 points. I'm sticking to the DeAndre Swift train. I do like his passing down usage here, and in DraftKings, that's what you want from your running back position. So I'm probably going to keep going back to the well there. Just trying to see if I can find any. Fournette is going to be popular this week because he was playing on Monday. Did not get any price increase from last week. So 5,200 for a guy who rushed 20 times and was involved in the pass game. Sign me up. I'm gonna get him. Maybe that's a game that I end up game stacking. Maybe just the Tampa Bay side. So you can do that as well. Trey Sermon, be on the lookout for that to make sure Eli Mitchell is in or not. So you're gonna have to just wait on some injuries to decide which angle you want to attack. But you can definitely attack some of these games for sure. The wide receiver position, and you're going to end up playing those game stacked receivers, and then you're going to what we call just like we say air yard receivers, where they get a bunch of air yards, but they haven't produced. Like last week, it was like Devontae Parker and Pittman, and Stephon Diggs was up there. So you can find those all at Occupy Fantasy. They do a very, very good job of identifying those. So sign up with the link right there with Occupy. They help you out tremendously with those. I'll also just piggyback on some of that I like as well, but those guys absolutely kill it. Let's see. Julio, probably going to be questionable. DJ Moore has been an absolute revelation. And I had him last year on fantasy, and I knew he could have this potential, but now he's actually doing it with 15, 21, 23, and 34. 12, 8, 11, 12, 12 targets. You can pencil him in as a wide receiver one for the rest of the season. He's obviously Sam Darnold's favorite target. Terry McLaurin as well has had some two big games. If you did not roster him in those areas, in those slates, you are definitely not cashing. Some cheap wide receivers that I think could go off this week. Devontae Parker's back at it with the Bucks, so you could go Parker for sure. He had 17 points on a lucky touchdown last week, but he's going to keep getting targeted 7-9, 7-9. Do like him a lot. Anybody who's going up against the Bucks pass game, they just can't stop anybody through the air. And I know it's Jacoby Brissett throwing him the football, but I'll trust my luck just with the defense. Renfro, if you guys have been under a rock, you know this guy's been killing it. 13, 10, 18, and 16. Very, he went from 3,600. Now he's all the way up to 4,900. So maybe some people are off of him this week because of the price jump. You should be right back on him. Let's see what Jalen Waddle's doing. So back and forth. This could be if you are game stacking, a Waddle, a Parker, and then a Brissett. Kind of ugly to say, but it could be something like that. Chenault from Jacksonville is a way to go. And I did not mention James Robinson in the running backs, but I do like him as well this week. And then if the Deebo Samuel has been a revelation as well. I'm going to go back up here. So he's priced accordingly to 7,100. He's been an absolute beast this year. He started at 5,900 this year, now up to 7,100. So you see those price increases, these guys have been going off, and guys that you should be targeting. So I do like those guys. And then Mikey Williams came back to earth finally, the 1 point outing last week. But I have a sneaky suspicion this week that Devontae has a Devontae Adams game. He hasn't. I would say he had one against the 49ers, but I think he could get one even bigger. And he could have one this week for sure against his Bengals secondary. So tight end, we got Schultze, who we've been talking about. I talked about on the live stream. As a waiver wire pickup, guy's getting so many targets the last couple weeks, 7 and 8. Definitely worthy in that offense to get some. Mike Gesicki is also another waiver wire pick that you can get 18 and 16. Brissett loves his tight ends. He's going to keep targeting them. So his big targets there. Don't be afraid to roster Hawkinson. I know he has been 2 duds in a row. He's going to bounce back. I'm probably going to be back to the well there. See, that's a lot of things that happen in DFS. Is a lot of people get really mad at 1 week, so they don't play him the following week. You gotta play week by week and understand how these guys operate and how these game plans flow. Sometimes the game script doesn't work in their favor, but the next week it does. But if you hold a grudge and don't play him the week before because of his performance the week before, you're gonna screw yourself out of some money. Noah Fant is another one of my favorites this week. He's cashed big. We were on his anytime touchdown for the stream on Sunday, so proud of that. Any cheap ones down here so Uzuma went off on Thursday Night Football. I don't see him redoing this. I'm not going to have much share of him. I think it's more of an outlier than it is of a true fantasy output. Dan Arnold, still waiting to see his role in Jacksonville. I do think he has some type of role, so we shall see there. But not seeing too many value plays here. Probably the mid-tier, the Gesicki's, Schultz, and the Fants. And then if you want to pay up, it's no Kelsey Slate, so it's going to be a Waller. So let me know in the comments if you guys cashed last week, who you guys are targeting this week. I'd love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to get up on out of here. We'll be back with a Friday stream with Source, and then we'll also be with another top plays and stacks video. So we'll see you then. See you guys.